Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Trooper here. The elections are just around the corner, and I'm going to tell you exactly how you will be affected if Trump wins. On top of that, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen if Trump doesn't win, if Biden wins again and takes office. I'm going to touch on the economy, the national debt, border crisis, wars around the world, the drug crisis, and the basic cost of living. So in order to get the most accurate answer, I went ahead and I looked back at Trump's previous presidency, and I looked at what he did. It was the same thing then. Democratically held by Obama and taken over by Trump. Same thing now. Democratically held by Biden, going to be taken over by September 2024 by Trump. And let's get to the facts. Let's start with the economy. Most notable in Trump's term was a record low unemployment rate, which was 3.5% at the time. The Republicans created 7 million jobs, 1.2 million of those being in construction alone. They lifted 7 million people off food stamps and lowered poverty rates for African and South American citizens. Now, the unemployment rate is already at a record low under Biden. However, under Trump, you will see less dependence on welfare aid, homeless shelters, and food stamps, depending on the city you live in. That's going to make a huge difference. Now to the national debt. Now, the Trump administration is known for its conservative ideas when it comes to the accumulation of debt, which is the idea of spending less and paying off as much debt as possible. But what I've noticed by looking at Trump's previous term, it was all talk. Let me explain why. The Trump administration racked up $7.8 trillion to the U.S. national debt due to huge tax breaks. Compare that with Democratic Obama and Biden. They're all pretty much head-to-head. Now, an increase to the U.S. national debt may not show the real effects just yet, but I can assure you that the governments are going to feel the pressure that the national debt is putting on America. And that results in more money being spent on paying off the interest of that debt than actually spending the money in America, in growth. Let's now look at the border crisis of America. Now, we all know it's not a secret. We all know what's happening in the southern border of America. Approximately 7.2 million immigrants illegally crossed the border and declared for asylum. And that's mainly because of the all-inclusive policies of the Biden administration. Trump vowed that if elected as president, he will begin the largest deportation operation to send back the illegal immigrants. The way he does that is by giving the Border Patrol agents a lot more authority to actually do their job in a lot more, which I won't get in the details of right now. On top of that, Trump is going to make sure that the wall on the southern border is fully complete, and that's going to result in a stronger border and stricter immigration laws. So we're going to see more American nationalism and isolation. It's going to be that America puts its own problems first and fixes those rather than extending out and helping other nations. Now, because of the extreme nationalism agenda, how is that going to affect America on the global stage? The funding for Ukraine will most likely be overruled and come to a stop. OPEC will be forced to lower gas prices as America will start to produce more oil than they ever did, and NATO will have to reconsider how much they spend in military or expect to lose their biggest military partner, which is America. For Americans, this means that their taxpayer dollars are going to be spent domestically rather than being sent to a nation that's oceans away. It also means that America is no longer going to be indirectly causing more deaths and more chaos in the Ukraine-Russia war. And now let's get to the drug crisis. Opioids, fentanyl, crack, cocaine, marijuana, you name it, it's in America, all of it. What we know from Trump's previous term is that he declared it a public health emergency in 2017 and signed bills to increase funding for treatment and enforcement, but that was not enough. So much so that during Trump's term of presidency, drug overdoses deaths from opioids alone spiked. As you can see, from 2016 to 2020, that number significantly increased, which does not look promising, to say the least. However, because of the massive impact that the fentanyl overdose crisis is having on America, I believe that the Trump administration is going to realize the threat that it causes, and they're going to take the necessary steps to actually fight this crisis and win. And lastly, the cost of living. Before the coronavirus spread across the globe, the Trump administration helped America build a very strong economy. Median household incomes rose to their highest level ever in 2019, while the poverty rate hit an all-time low. Stocks were at an all-time high, which means the economy was booming and the people were making money. Not to mention the gas prices, utility bills, and the cost of acquiring a house were a lot lower, not like it is today, leaving Americans with more savings. I believe all in all, Americans would benefit by having Trump take command of America. And I'm not saying that just because of the economy. He would ensure that America has strong borders, would maintain world order, and dominate the global market. Now guys, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, what will happen if Trump doesn't win, if Biden takes office again? The biggest concern Republicans and Democrats have is the age. He's 81, and he's going to be 82 in November this year. He's completely disoriented, not knowing where to walk, not knowing what to say without a script, stumbling across his words. He needs help. Just imagine your grandpa trying to run the most powerful nation in the world. I think your grandpa would probably do a better job than Joe Biden, but I just feel bad. He's not fit for office, and given he gets elected as a second time, Americans are going to suffer even more. That includes higher gas prices, more money sent to Ukraine, more illegal immigrants taking over America, and more drugs on the streets. California is your best example of that. Bottom line is, America is going to need someone who can stand up not just for domestic issues, not just for international issues, but he can stand up for other global leaders as well. Someone who is sharp and doesn't always need a script. If you guys like the video, like, subscribe, and comment down below on who you think is going to win. Take care, guys.